finding solutions. And as I discuss this particular subject today, first of all, I want to welcome everybody again. If you're watching this live or you're watching on the replay, been an interesting week for myself. Hope all of you have been in touch with your emotions, gaining more insight into your life as you carry on in this journey. And some of the interesting things that for me that I wanted to talk about today relate to some of the things that I've experienced during the week. And in terms of people, for example, sitting at a table and hearing a story about somebody's life. And many times we get caught up in a loop where somebody's just venting to you about something, right? You don't listen to the shift. There is no shift in the story itself. There's no resolution towards anything going on. And nobody wants to hear resolution about the story that they're telling. And then many times what happens is sitting at the table, the person is actually retelling a story, telling me the story and somebody else the story. And then in the hopes maybe of somebody else again retelling that story. So it makes an impression upon what is not going to be resolved, but what can continue. Because so much of our lives, as we know and as we speak about, centers around us creating stories of drama and keeping us in a loop of trying to remain in a place where we don't really solve anything, resolve anything, or find a solution, but we just keep something alive and we just keep a specific agenda going. The emotions get relived, validated and amplified, but nothing moves, right? And so the suffering doesn't end or teach, it just circulates. And there's an important distinction for us to keep in mind when we're actually in the company of somebody else listening to their story. Sometimes we want to hold space, and we've discussed that before, and I think many of you are familiar with that. It's not recycling something, right? It's listening without judgment. It's not retelling the story for stimulation or bonding with somebody. And many times people bond over a story because they want to give the person the chance to tell them so that they feel like they have a partnership or a relationship with them, and they listen and they bond over specific stories. So you allow the person's feelings in terms of when you're holding space to be felt, but without turning them into an identity or identifying with it, where you take it on, where you then give this person the opportunity to keep going with it so that the energy eventually settles or clears. But recycling suffering or creating a drama, right, is a story becomes like a currency. Can you believe what's going on? Can you imagine this? And nobody ever listens to what's going on. The pain becomes entertainment. It becomes, again, bonding, validation. And the narrative kind of hardens instead of opening up. And there's no insight, there's no responsibility, and there's no next step. So from a shamanic perspective or from an energetic lens, pain is meant to move through a system, but not loop endlessly in the village, so to speak. It's not supposed to be passed on like a baton to the next person to amplify a situation and create more fuel already that exists. Because when we repeat stories without wisdom, we keep wounds alive. And when we introduce insight, compassion, and truth, then the wound can finally change its form and start to heal. So sometimes the wisest act in terms of interacting with somebody else and trying to find a resolution isn't advice, but it's not passing the story on to somebody else. It's keeping it where it is and keeping it and ending it. Otherwise, we get caught in that loop. And so today what I'd like us to do is to try to look into our lives and try to find out what solutions we can find or offer ourselves in situations where we're presented with other people's information, or where we are in a position to, again, either hold space with that information or decide to not pass it on, at least, right? When if you're not looking for if you're not interested in offering wisdom to a situation, it's best just to leave it at that place and where it stands, not putting it into somebody else's lap. So today I'd like you to look at your life and see what solutions you can offer yourself and others in a situation where you're not holding space, but you do have the opportunity to exert your wisdom into a situation. Whether that be with somebody that's not asking, but sometimes you have to draw the line so that you're not dragged into stories over and over again, or drama over and over again. And this is a repetitive theme, I think, for us to keep in mind, because we're faced with this on a daily basis, ourselves personally, or we may eavesdrop on situations where we hear this in the background. And sometimes it could be an energy drain to see people bonding over drama and stories that really bring no resolution or solution, and nobody is offering anything that can actually stop it in its tracks. So look at a situation in your life where you've been presented with this or are being presented with it right now, and how you can find a way, maybe through our journey, through a spirit animal, whatever information comes towards you, of how you can find a solution to something. Again, it could be holding its space, or it could be finding or offering wisdom in a situation. But most of the times what we do is we face a backlash, we face a wall. If a person's been telling people stories over and over in their life, they're expecting one of us to hear that story and listen to it and not come up with a solution. And I think it's in our best interest to find the higher level or higher route of how we can deal with that situation. All right, so this is going to be Shamanic Journey number 120. I've done 120 shamanic journeys. As well, I just wanted to share with the group here, I'm also been on TikTok and also offering chakra readings for people who come on, they present their name, and I get somewhat of a reading of which chakras are off and which organs are associated with that. And it's been pretty positive as I've been doing them. I did it yesterday. So if you have a moment, you could check me out on my TikTok page, and you could look into some of the things that I'm doing the lives that I'm carrying on with. Anyway, off that subject, let's get into the journey, which is Shamanic Journey number 120 again, to solutions, right? Wisdom, offering wisdom to a person, not bonding or not transferring drama from one person to the next and then passing the baton of information, of gossip, to somebody else, because it brings no solution. There is no solution. That's just a means of allowing something to keep going in the circle. And we can allow positive things to go in the circle instead of negative things. Okay, so let's get into a comfortable position, either seated or lying down. Preferably closing your eyes. Covering your eyes is best so that you don't have extra stimulation coming into you, and being in a state of receptivity, and we'll go on our journey. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Get comfortable and let's go on our journey. Forest, its vastness, its peace. Walking on the trail with the sun shining brightly in our face. Breathing in the smells of the forest air. Nature giving us the opportunity to heal, to seek information, to connect with a spirit animal. As we walk on the path up ahead, see an opening into a cave. And as we get closer, we enter the cave using our hands to navigate through the darkness. Up ahead, seeing the from the other side. And exiting the cave. Following the pattern of the new path as it veers to the right. Trees left and right, hovering over the path. And as we continue walking, up ahead we hear a sound. We look in the distance and we stop and see a spirit animal. What animal do you see? As you see the spirit animal, you move closer. Closer so that you can ask the spirit animal. About solutions. And you listen for the answers. allow for the tree to absorb the positive ions, neutralizing the energy, bringing a sense of balance and equilibrium. Taking a deep breath in as you look up to the tree and thank it. Releasing your hands and arms and continuing on the path out of the forest. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling. Moving your fingers, moving your toes, shrugging your shoulders. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming back into the room. Okay, so as we journey today, hopefully you were in contact with some information that allowed you or passed information onto you. That gives you the opportunity to get insight into how we can better handle or offer solutions to people's problems, people who are close to us who are in need of those solutions, as well as ourselves. Many times we're surrounded or in the company of people who are telling a story and looking for us to not interrupt the story being told with any wisdom. Instead, absorbing a story and then taking it like a baton and passing it on to the next story. Not to find a solution to the problem, but to keep it going. Not even for us to hold space, which is one of the things we can do, which doesn't allow it to recycle, right? Which is a positive thing we could do. We could listen without judgment. We don't need to retell a story for stimulation or bonding with somebody. But we can just be there to listen to it and not continue with it. So we actually have the opportunity to just end it there, not have a solution. But naturally, there are people in our lives who we want to offer something to. And obviously, timing is everything. And people's path is important for them wanting to, desire to hear information. But as it relates to solutions themselves, sometimes we have to put that on hold. And we just need to hold the space and not pass it on or pass anything else to the next person. And that could be difficult for many of us, being in situations where we've had those bonds of, you tell me something, I'll listen to it, and then I'll tell somebody else the story. And that's drama. So we're not really looking to create drama. We're looking to find solutions, or in the company of that, hold space in a situation where we can stop the water from coming any further out of the dam. I guess it has positive implications for our lives, because there are people, again, who are in our lives who we have to stop in their tracks from thinking that we will take on a story or information, because eventually it just becomes overwhelming, and it gives the person the feeling that they can continue on with this pattern. Okay. In any case, if you join me here, I want to thank you for joining me. And if you catch this on the live, thank you as well. Just be in the lookout as you enter the week, and look for what animals are around you. And it's pretty difficult if you live in a big city to really have an animal or a different type of animal cross your path, other than maybe a pigeon if you're in the city, or squirrel, or what have you. But if you're out in the wilderness, if you're in a place where there are more animals in abundance, or different varieties or species, then you have more of an opportunity to then ask the universe to present to you a spirit animal, and you never know what shows up. You never know what crosses your path, and you never know what information is passing on to you. This week, as I was driving, every morning when I do my prayers and meditation, I ask the universe to present to me a spirit animal. And it was yesterday, yes. Yesterday I was driving and a red fox, came up right up by the road and then turned around. And obviously it has a specific meaning. It means it's trickster energy, it's becoming more playful, it means to be more alert with things. That was the feeling I had. So whenever a spirit animal crosses your path, you also want to gauge your reaction towards the animal itself that comes your way. Sometimes you'll be in awe of what you see. Sometimes you'll be scared of what you see, and there'll be different feelings that take place. That's all part of what the animal is also presenting to you. Okay. In any case, I hope you have a wonderful evening. And I'll catch you next week on Tuesday, 8 o'clock. And if some of you missed it, I'm also doing TikTok, chakra readings, lives. You can go on my TikTok page and, check out when that'll be. It's not specifically planned, but I kind of more spontaneous type of thing. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful evening again, and thank you.